first and second cataracts lay Lower Nubia, and between the second and sixth cataracts lay Upper Nubia. Along most of its length through Egypt, the Nile has covered a deep, wide gorge in the desert plateau. At Aswan, north of the first cataract, the Nile is deeper and its surface smoother. Downstream from Aswan, the Nile flows northerly to Armand before taking a sharp bend called Qana. From Armand to Hou, the river extends about 180 kilometers and divides the narrow southern valley from the wider northern valley. Southern Egypt, thus being upstream, is called Upper Egypt, and northern Egypt, being downstream and the delta, is called Lower Egypt. In addition to the valley and the delta, the Nile also divided Egypt into the eastern and west deserts. The Nile Valley is a canyon running 660 miles long with a floodplain occupying 4,250 square miles. The delta spans some 8,500 square miles and is trimmed in its coastal regions by lagoons, wetlands, lakes, and sand dunes. The delta represented 63% of the inhabited area of Egypt, extending about 200 kilometers from south to north and roughly 400 kilometers from east to west. While today the Nile flows through the delta in only two principal branches, the Damietta and the Rosetta. In ancient times, there were three principal channels known as the water of Pra, the water of Ptah, and the water of Ammon. There were additionally subsidiary branches or artificially cut channels. The most dominant features of the delta are the sandy mounds of clay and silt that appear as islands rising 1 to 12 meters above the surrounding area. Since these mounds would not be submerged by the inundation, they were ideal sites for pre-dynastic and early dynastic settlements, and indeed, evidence of human habitation have been found. Perhaps these mounds rising above the water table inspired the ancient belief of creation as having begun on a mound of earth that emerged from the primordial waters of Nun. There were several major oases of the western desert, which comprised about two-thirds of Egypt. The Fayoum, where during the Middle Kingdom period the capital of all Egypt was situated, and which increasingly became one of the most densely populated and agriculturally productive area in Egypt. beautiful places to visit in Egypt, to learn more about history and civilization. One of these places lies on the southern tip of Rhoda Island. It is a unique historical site. It is the Nile in Cairo. Existing structures, which dates back to the period just after the Arab conquest of Egypt. Nilometers, known as al-Miqyas in Arabic, were used to measure the levels of the Nile River and are a remarkable reminder of Egypt's illustrious past. These water measurement structures continued to be useful up until the modern era, when the Nile's natural flows were disrupted by large water storage reservoirs. Since the Nile River has been of critical economic importance to both ancient and modern civilizations alike, officials have gauged its water levels for more than 5,000 years, writing them down for more than 13 centuries. The Nilometer is an excellent example of an historic water measurement device. Although a Nilometer has existed in the Cairo area since the Pharaonic period, the Umayyads constructed a Nilometer on Rhoda Island in about 715 AD. This structure was restored in 815 but was destroyed by a flood in 850. The existent one on the Rhoda Island today was designed by Abu al-Abbas Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Qatir al-Farqani, a native of Fargana, West Turkestan, who is known in the West as the astronomer Al-Fraganus. The structure was restored